Oh boy, Kanye West. Liberals treatment Trump supporters like enemies of the people. To which they're probably going to respond, but he is. Kanye West said liberals are bullying supporters of President Donald Trump and threatening them like enemies, treating them like enemies of the people in an interview with David Letterman now airing on Netflix. Dave Letterman's still going, is he? Wow. Letterman, who wondered if people who endorse Trump's views are indirectly hurting some of his supporters who are ultimately being victimized by his administration. Letterman wondered if people who endorse Trump's views are indirectly hurting some of his supporters. I don't get that, but anyway. West replied, well, you know how you feel for the people who voted for him and that have been treated like enemies of America because that's what they feel like they had that opportunity. Let's just watch the clip.
You know what I was stunned by in the midterm elections was the aggressive organization and attempt at voter suppression. Now, we're not talking about 1918, we're talking about 2018. And it's still going on and being encouraged. So if I see a person I admire talking about Donald Trump can think whatever he does, I wonder if those thoughts indirectly aren't hurting people who are already being hurt.
Well, how do you feel for the people that voted for him that are being treated like enemies of America because that's what they felt and they had that opportunity?
Every time there's a presidential election, time for a change, time for a change. It's endemic. It's part of the system. And it's what keeps this democracy in motion. And it's always the argument, you know what this country needs is a businessman to run it like a business. So the people that voted for him, I understand that. But I wondered to myself, are these people ultimately going to be victimized? And I think now the people in good faith looking to get the country to help them a little more than it has by electing a business guy, I think are now being hurt for it. And I would think that would not try it again.
Have you ever been beat up in your high school for wearing the wrong hat?
I just been beat up because people didn't like me.
Yeah.
But I know what you're saying.
The idea is the bullying.
Who's the bully in this scenario?
Well, definitely liberals bully people who are Trump supporters. It's not just calm. You can't just go and wear the hat. You can't just go. It's like, fuck you. Fuck you. Like, it's like, bro, I have. People, the thing is, in America, we have rights, and we have rights to open the conversation.
Well, nobody's arguing that there should be an ongoing conversation.
Yeah.
I don't think you meet any resistance there. Things need to be talked about.
Interesting clip. At the end of the day, I wasn't aware David Letterman was still doing a talk show. Looks really different with the beard. But at the end of the day, I think Kanye has a good point where he turns around and says that people that are voting for Trump are being victimized because of wearing the wrong hat. Because at the end of the day, they don't have the right opinions. There is a lot of political violence that happens to Trump supporters. Yes, there is some political violence that happens on the other side as well. But the overwhelming majority of it, from what I can see from my little view of the world, is that it's mostly going one way. I don't see Bernie Sanders supporters being dragged out of their cars and beaten. That, like what happened to a Trump supporter back in 2016, I think it was. At the end of the day, I think that Letterman's sitting there. His argument is that people tried to vote for Trump because he was a businessman, and now they're no longer liking Trump because of his policies. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think at the end of the day, if people voted for Trump because of his policies, then at the end of the day, I think they're going to sit there and say, okay, well, if that's the case, Trump has lowered unemployment. He has, gone through and kickstart the American economy, bringing back manufacturing. He's, lowering food stamp requirements for people needing food stamp, which is a good thing. He is giving people back money with their tax incentives. If you voted for Trump because he's a businessman, it is actually working. Trump's businessman ideas is actually making America's economy moving along. And they have had a 3.25% growth, I think it was, every quarter. Every quarter they constantly hit that. And I don't think Obama hit that every single quarter. Now, at the end of the day, yes, it will cap out at some certain stage because there's only so much you can do with an economy. But at the moment, it is 3% every quarter. So if you voted for Trump because at the end of the day, he's gone through and he's a businessman, you were smart because that businessman is doing a good job when it comes to running the US economy. Big freaking surprise. It's what I've always said. I've always said it even to my parents and everybody here in Australia. I said Australia needs a businessman to run it. Because an economy or a country is the same as a business. Money comes in, money comes out. It's all deductions, it's all wages, whatever you want to call it. It is the same principle. At the end of the day, Trump being a businessman has been a really good thing for the US economy. So I do think that David Letterman's argument here is a little bit null and void. And I think Kanye West... Look, I think Kanye West was extremely relaxed. I think he was extremely... You can see in the chair. I'll see if I can rewind it. Like here it is here. You can see... You can see slide back, slouch back. Yeah. Eric, it has to at some point. At some point there will be a slowing down. But yeah, I don't doubt. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that it'll plateau at some point. But now it's boom. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's it. At the moment, at some point it will plateau, or it will slow down. But at the moment, 3% plus every quarter, unheard of. Obama never did it. Trump, Obama turning around saying, we're not going to be able to bring back manufacturing jobs. Those jobs are lost. You know what was Trump's response? Abracadabra, motherfucker. Here's our manufacturing jobs back. And every time Trump makes a business decision regarding the US economy, it pays off. This is what Satellite and I had a disagreement about. Or not disagreement, but a discussion about. I said to him, he was going on about the tariffs. My argument was that everything that Trump has done up until this point regarding the US economy has worked. So even though I can see Satellite's point regarding these tariffs, my argument is I'm going to give Trump the benefit of the doubt because at the moment, everything he's done has worked. So until then, until he starts falling flat on his ass a few times, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. What magic wand do you have? Trump's response. Yeah. Yeah. Let me actually edit that because it wasn't there. Yeah. You can repost it if you want. Yeah. I'll read it out for you. But I think Kanye West had a really good point. That the liberals are being targeted. They're targeting Trump supporters just because they're wearing the wrong frigging hat. What magic wand do you have? Trump, I don't need a magic wand. Exactly. He doesn't. He's a friggin' businessman. He's turned a $1 million investment into a $3.5 billion empire. He turned around I think it was in the 80s or 90s or whatever it was, and was in debt over $1 million, pulled himself out of the debt, and ended up having $3.5 billion empire. He knows how to make money. And guess what? The US economy is nothing more than a business. Money comes in, money comes out. Trade sanctions and stuff like that, trade deals and stuff like that, it's negotiating. Oh my God, who would have thought actually getting a guy who wrote a book called The Art of the Deal would be a bad idea. It ended up being a really good one. Funny that, isn't it? I think I got that wrong way around. Who would have thought they were doing a good idea? Bad idea. Yeah, anyway. But you get the point. Trump wrote that book, The Art of the Deal. And it is something that he's always used in negotiations. But I don't know, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. That said, I'm surprised that David Letterman's still doing talk shows. Like, God, how old is he now? Jeez.